Hey, Jordan Bench here, jordanbench.com. In this video, I'm going to share with you Scripture Typer. Scripture Typer is a Bible verse memory app. It's actually one of my favorite apps to use for memorizing scripture. It's actually really easy to use, it's intuitive, and it's user-friendly. They have a free version and they also have a paid version. I use the paid version because I found it worth using and I use it a lot. So let me show you what it looks like inside. Actually, the icon is a open book, open Bible with a cross in the middle. It's right here. I'm going to click on that. Let me make myself smaller. Okay. So right now you're on the home screen, and at the very top it says My Bible. So Scripture Typer actually has a Bible built into it. I'll click on that, go into it, and it's using the King James version. So the King James, the one that it uses, is free. If you click on it, though, it'll show you other Bibles that you can use, like the ESV, NIV, NASB, or the Christian Standard Bible. Each one of those are $10. I just use the free one, and it just right there shows you, the Bible and stuff. And then if you hit the drop down, you can go ahead. Let's do this. It can. You can just go ahead and choose whatever verse you want. So, and then let's say there's a verse in here that you like. All you got to do is click on that verse, and it'll actually add it to you, or it'll add it to your categories, or add it to like your uncategorized one where you can add all your verses into. So, let's say I want this verse, 1 John 1:5. So, this then is the message which we have heard of him and declare unto you that God is light and in him is no darkness at all. So let's say I want to memorize that. I just click on the little memorize at the bottom left-hand corner. Then you can choose if you want to add it to a collection or not. I'm not going to. And you just hit add verse and that's it. Boom. So it has added it to an uncategorized thing. So let me show you this. So that's the Bible. I'm not going to show you groups because I don't really think it's all that important or needed. But it does keep stats though, so that's kind of neat. But let's say I go into my verses, and you can do that at the bottom of your screen. You'll see where it says my verses. You can click on that. It's the same thing. It takes you to the same place. So what I have here is a whole bunch of collections, and these collections are a whole bunch of my verses that I put into a category. So for instance, I have one on authority. I have freedom of sin, heaven and the kingdom. I have one on hyper grace. That's kind of like one that I use or I came up with. So let's just say I want authority. Click on authority and you'll see there's all these different scriptures here that deal with authority. I like this one. Luke. Oh, it's not going to show it to you. Whoops, I don't want that. Sorry, clicking buttons way too fast. Type it. Okay, so here's a verse that I'm going to try to memorize, right? So what happens is it has the verse out there for you, but all you have to do is type the first letter of the word. So I'll just hit F for 4, and you just go through. And as you do that, it will highlight. And let's say I hit the wrong button, it's gonna. Well, actually, it's not going to do that. Okay. So as you go through it, that is how you get through the first part, is you just type in all these. The next part, though, is going to hide certain ones. So let's say I want to memorize it. So now it hides certain ones, okay? So for I will give you. And you just go through it. Then on the next level that it has, like to master it, it actually doesn't show you anything. So, whoops, I hit the wrong button. Yeah, so it doesn't show you anything. Now, if it has a red in there, like you see those little red blocks, all those it's just saying that that's where you have a hard time with. So it's kind of like giving you a warning of where you have a hard time with. So I can just start going for, I will give you a mouth and a wisdom. Okay, and you can go through it that way. So that just gives you an idea of how you can use this. Now, the other cool thing that this has is you can actually record your own voice. And as you record your own voice, as you like read the scripture and you're recording it, it's really neat because when you listen back to it, you're hearing your own voice. So you're speaking the scripture, you're listening to it because it's your own voice. That's going to help to get the scripture in you even further. So I really like the fact that they have this app, or they have this feature in this app, because it's just a better way to get the scripture in you. Let me see if there's anything else I want to show you. Okay, so back to the home screen. I showed you how to add a verse. No, I didn't show you how to add a verse. I showed you how to do it from the Bible. So let's say we go back in my verses. So you hit this little plus button right here at the bottom right hand corner, hit the little plus button, and you can add a new collection or you can hit new verse. We'll say new verse, and let's just say I do James 4:7. Yep. Okay, so then you have to hit, once you type that in, then you have to hit import verse, because then that's going to actually pull it up for you, and we'll say import verse. So there it is, and then you hit save. And if I wanted to put it to a category, I could have done that, but for this purpose, I didn't. Now, the other thing I want to show you, this is really neat. If you're someone who doesn't really know a whole lot of verses right off the top of your head or right off the bat, then it actually gives you, right here, versus verse library, it actually gives you verses to choose from. Now, there's one in here that you might find kind of neat. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, they have strength, spiritual growth. Yeah, top 100 verses. So let's say, because they have it all in categories, so the Beatitudes, you have all these different categories in here, but let's say top 100 verses. You click on that, and it's going to bring up the top 100 verses that, I don't know how they came up with that or what dictates that, but it just shows you that. So like 1 Corinthians 6:19. So it's just giving you ideas of ones that you can use. So let's say I want that one. All I got to do is click on that, and it'll say, first selected from a collection will appear individually under my verses unless the entire collection is selected from the verse library. Yep, page. So hit OK. So because I selected it, it's going to automatically add it to that selection. So that's what I want. And then any ones I undo, it will remove it. So that's a really easy way to actually add that in there. If there's anything else, let's see. So review, if I click on review, this is just kind of showing you which ones you're working on. And then it lets you go through. Oh yeah, one more thing. So let me show you this. Let's say I go back to the James 4:7. I click on that. Dun, 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 dun. No, it's not in this section. I'm sorry. I need to go back. I need to go back to my home. Okay. So if I go back to... That's not what I want. I'm sorry, I'm looking for something right now. I'm a little confused where it's at. Verse library. I'm trying to find the flashcard. For some reason, I'm having a hard time finding it. See, you know how to use all this stuff, but the minute you start recording yourself, that's when you start drawing these blanks. You're like, what's going on? All right. No, it's not in there. My verses. Verse library, no. Should be in here. For some reason, I am not finding it, so I apologize for that. But all it is maybe I'll hold on it. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Okay, so you have to click and hold on the verse, and you hit flashcards. I don't typically use this feature. I do in other apps, but I don't really use it in this one. But I do recommend you use it because it works out really well. So you hit flashcards. All right. So what this is going to do is going to pop the verse up, and I can swipe left or right or up or down. So if I swipe to the right, it's going to reveal to me the actual scripture of what it is. And then you can hit done or I got it. This is just going to say that you got it. Or you can swipe up. Let's go this way. Yeah. So Mark 16, 17, 18. If I go to the right, it's going to show me what the verse is. And we're on to another verse. You can also swipe up and down, and it's going to move through the scriptures as well. So it's just kind of a neat little way to memorize scriptures as well by using the flashcard system. So anyways, I hope you have gotten some value out of this. I do recommend Scripture Typer. It's actually a really good app to use. Like I said, I've never had any bugs with this app. It actually does pretty well. A lot of times the free apps, they kind of have issues. They kind of have bugs because they're not there's no tech support working on them a lot. Or there might be, it's just they're not as dedicated to it. So this app is actually really good for that. So if you found value in this video, then go ahead and give it a like, give it a thumbs up. Also, if you have any questions for me on how to use this app, maybe I can give you some other specific details of it, go ahead and comment below. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video.